If you had to paint the gutter, which color would you choose? Said the patron to the painter. The painter said the blues. Do you act off intuition or languish and peruse? More like tap into tradition from the angle of my mood. He looked back at his canvas, a strangle in a tube. A master of the palette, all sanguine and cool. The music mostly jazz, the jazz mostly old. Punctured by some punk and some old smoky soul. An atlas on the trunk from the land of broken goals. Just a cover in the back that you open and you close. Where are all the pages? The painter said defanged. I ripped them all out and made some paper planes. Fish grease absorbers and some origami cranes. Poured itself a drink and then poured it down the drain. Looked at the empty canvas, said I think I have a name. I'll call it gasoline, pouring on the flames. Hey. I appreciate the visit, this isn't normally allowed. Do you consider yourself wild or conforming to a style? The patron pointed at a pile of those rejections or mistakes. The painter said that is not for question or debate. Most of what we know as art is the projection of a faith. The product of a pontiff for the election of a saint. A gift from the red for the digestion of the caint. A visual garnish for the confessions of the frank. Displays of physical carnage, make connections to the ranks. Goes over very well with South Americans and Yanks. Not to sound shamanistic, but there's medicine in paint. It gets kinetic if you let it. There's a fetish in its strength. Martyrdom will call. Russian roulette is in the flanks. And most will pull the trigger if the weapon's full of blanks. But when there's a pool of sharks and you step into the tank, that's the pool of art that got them headed to the plank. But they fell for the deceptiveness of the secularist complaint. The upheaval of the cathedrals into the edifice of bank. That pile over there is just the evidence of angst. The failed revival of a perfectionist when his efforts have just sank. A selection of the waste that lacks direction or a base. You lose all of the plots for the affections of a race. Man does not become superior because you connect him to a cape. Nor does become inferior because you connect him to an ape. I never wanted my life to be a collection of some dates. And holiday my days away and intellectually sedate. It's not really a beat, but conceptually at stake. Like progenitors and gender roles successfully conflate. The current art world is just competitively opaque. It never ceases to amaze. My mouth is medically agape. One day it's raising up the brand, the next it's shredding it to flakes. And the velocity of trends is what referees the pace. Professionally accept what ethically I hate. So in all of my work you see this wrestling with fate. It's even in the brushstrokes how aggressively I strafe. Less like putting on some makeup, more like severing a face. Wow. Said the patron with a smile. That's the most interesting diatribe I've heard in a while. How you articulated the nature and put it all on trial. Took it up to heaven, then put it on the ground. The painter asked the patron, can you stand up on the pile? I've had a flash of inspiration, my creativeness aroused. The model took its place, the painter grabbed the lighter, doused the shit in gasoline and set it all on fire. Fire, 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 fire.
Welcome back. Welcome back. I have arrived again. As a creative and as an artist, I have, I don't want to say my issues, but I have certain issues when it comes to like deadlines and stuff like that. So as far as my YouTube channel and stuff like that, I planned on, having a video out every month. Right? Seems simple. 12 times a year, but time these days is so distorted, it flies, it goes, and February got away from me. I'll say that much. I was actually going to post a video on February 14th, as far as just the theme of love and self-love specifically, in my case. But I didn't make it, and here we are, March the 2nd. So we just gonna, we're gonna look at today as February 30th. Right? I mean, hey, I'm still on deadline. I create my own motherfucking deadlines. You know what I'm saying? But I just wanted to get back on and share, whatever I was gonna share and express for my monthly Goat Poetry Expressions here. So I can honestly say I am in a beautiful space of my life. Um, y'all, I have never been to where I could honestly say, I have inner peace. And I am able to maintain, I know how to maintain, not hold on to, not cling to, but maintain my sense of inner peace no matter what is happening on the outside of me. And so for me personally, that's a major accomplishment. That's a major thing. And I'm just grateful. I have nothing but, let me see if I can show y'all. I don't know if y'all can see it. It's kind of hard to show it. But anyways, that says gratitude galore. So that's really all I got. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what you see right now. This is not fake. I'm not putting on. This is not a facade. Like, this shit is real. The glow, that shit is real. You know what I'm saying? So, again, I'm just grateful to be able to be in a space where I can share with others faithfully and consistently. I just want to share that. But I got about 5 poems I'm gonna share with y'all today. A lot of people are like, well, you don't want to give away too much of your gems or your gold for free, and you don't want to do this and do that. But honestly, like, I call myself the goat of poetry for a reason, simply because, not because I have the best poetry of all time, even though some could argue that I do. It's not because of that, though. When I say I am the GOAT of poetry, what that means is I am the greatest of all time, meaning greatest, meaning in abundance. I have so much to give as far as poems and art itself, so I have it to share. So just because I'm coming on here for one single video and sharing literally 5 poems at a time, which is honestly still nothing to me, then, it doesn't mean I'm running out. I want to say that much. It doesn't mean that I'm giving too much, or I'm giving something that I don't have to give, because I have it in abundance, and I don't speak about that as in a form of boasting or vain or anything. I'm just being very honest. Like, what I'm sharing, I have it to give, I have it to share, and I want to share it. I have the desire to, so that's what I'm gonna do. Okay. I hope y'all can hear me. I got my fan going on in the background, and I'm kind of in a place in my life where whenever I hit play, or as far as starting the recording, that's just what it is. I ain't bagging shit up. I'm not restarting shit. So I'm just hoping that I can be heard clearly right now before I start to express. In my mind, I'm back in my mind, I'm like, should I go turn off my fan? Like, like for real, like, should I go turn off my fan just to make sure, that y'all are able to hear me and hear what I have to express and have to say through my art. And you know what? That just sounds like the most logical thing for me to do right now, okay? So I'm going to go cut my fan off, and then I'm going to be back to get into some GOAT poetry expressions, all right? Cool. I've returned. You know what I'm saying? See, now I feel more clear. Now it's like I can hear myself. You know what I mean? Because it was kind of hard for me to hear myself, so I just wanted to adjust that. Okay. Sorry, I should have had all my tools together. I'm not perfect or anything. I'm going with the flow here, doing as I'm called. And like I say, I even feel a bit behind as far as timing, but what is timing if it's not divine? You know what I mean? I'm here on divine time. So, just give me a second. I have the poems that I want to share. I just got to find the exact page so I know the exact titles. Okay. So just bear with me here, y'all. I mean, this is some fresh stuff to me. I had to get it all the way together as far as my presentation, the way I present myself, how prepared I am. Because like I said, I'm just moving pretty much based upon intuition here. I'm moving, the way I'm called to move. So It's not gonna always be perfect. I'm talking right now not to y'all but to myself. I have a inner perfectionist who likes to go in on me like, girl, get it together, and I'm like, I'm together as I can be, you know. Anyways, let me find this first poem. So this first poem is called The Color Red, right? I'm sure everybody has heard of the classic by Alice Walker, as far as the book entitled The Color Purple. And if you haven't read that book, then I'm sure you've probably seen the movie with Whoopi Goldberg and what's his name? Danny Glover, whoever it is. Y'all know who I'm talking about. I'm giving credit where it's due here, but The Color Purple, in a sense, just that title alone, not even the concept of it, but that title alone inspired The Color Red, the poem that I'm about to share with y'all. Okay, so here it go. All right. She dances in a field with the thorns of roses surrounding her, but she doesn't care. She says there's beauty within the light and darkness of the rose. She said she wouldn't be able to experience the pretty reds if she didn't also experience the thorny greens. She gets the concept of balance. She knows the thorns can and most likely will prick her. After all, she dances with her eyes closed and absolutely no protective gear. What would it be protecting besides her own fear? So she dives in. Once she opens her eyes again, she sees the pretty reds of the roses and her scars. It doesn't bother her or close her heart. She places a beautifully awkward red rose onto one of her red cuts and compared the two. When she did, she saw no difference. All was beauty and poetry and love and God. Others put emphasis on beauty of the color purple. She put emphasis on the beauty of the color red. Thank y'all for listening to that. I'm over here like, when I don't even know when I wrote that. I wrote that on apparently June 5th of last year. I didn't think that poem was even that old. Like I say, I write so much and time goes by so quickly, I didn't even realize. But when I wrote that poem, I didn't have a full conceptual understanding of, I understood it, but I didn't understand it. You know, for me, that's a difference. You can understand something, but when you start to understand, then you understand from within. You know what I mean? So I've come to a certain understanding when it comes to this poem, because since June 5th of last year, I have had to walk through the flames of my own darkness. I was pretty much only familiar with or only allowing myself to embrace the light within me because it was easy. It was what was at the front. It was not in the shadows. It wasn't hidden. I knew a lot about my hidden and my darkness, but I stayed away from it. I detached from it simply because I did not understand it. I did not understand how it could serve me, what purpose and benefit it could give to not only me, but others around me in my life, in my reality. I did not understand my darkness. So as I'm reading back through this poem, The Color Red, you know, I really did have the opportunity to do this metaphorically speaking. I didn't go into a field of roses on the actual earth plane and, you know, go out there and get cut and all of that. But metaphysically, metaphorically, in my soul, mentally, emotionally, I experienced the journey that I just expressed through that poem, as far as just coming to understand and understand my own balance, you know, the lights and the dark, you know, the pretty red of the rose and the thorniness and pain of the greens. You know, it was, I'm sorry, I'm over here processing it myself. Like, yeah, like I did that. I embodied that poem, like in the flesh, in this form here. And that's kind of pretty much how my poems go in general. You know, whatever I write comes to life. I experience it. And like I said, within the past year or so, maybe 2 years, I wrote thousands of poems, y'all. And it's like, as I'm thinking about it, it's a no wonder that my life is so intense and heavy and deep, because my spirit knows first, and it brings up my experiences from the unconscious to the conscious, and then I experience it because I have the mental awareness of it when I write, and then I go back and read my poems, but I don't have, the true understanding of what I've just written and how I'm going to experience it until I actually have an experience that shows me that's literally something that I wrote. What they say, the power of the mind is no joke, baby. I was always meant to manifest greatness as well as gold, simply because my mind, that's what's inside of my mind. That's what lives inside of me. So I'm just happy to be able to share and express and even process it through it with y'all, as I'm doing this, because that makes it more real for y'all. I'm showing y'all the actual connection between the artist and the art. You know what I mean? So yeah, okay. Let me see what I got next for y'all. Um, I kind of got them all in the same spot here, but I had to scroll. So just bear with me. I know y'all probably like, this is awkward. We're just waiting around in awkward silence right now. I write so much. That's my thing. So I literally have to go find like I say, I should be, more prepared for y'all. That way my video isn't stretched out unnecessarily, and y'all ain't just gotta sit and wait around on me and all of that. But y'all, I am doing what I can do here, okay? Literally. Okay, so I found it. So this next poem is entitled Legends and Geniuses. Okay, so this right here, shout out to all my legends, all of my legends and my geniuses out there. Okay, because we out there, even if we in the shadows, if we hidden and all this and that and third, and I acknowledge our presence. I acknowledge what we contribute to the culture, to society, and all of that, because hey, we play a role, and it's a very significant role. All right, so I speak for all the legends and geniuses out here. All right. Okay, so legends and geniuses, they're never recognized or respected until long after their allotted reign. Now, ain't that a damn shame? They're the ones who carve new paths, introduce new ideas, innovate a new world. Yet there's no respect. If anything, there's negative criticism. The easiest default line: they're crazy. Yet the legends and the geniuses are actually some of the most sane. People are so backwards, and they like to group think. So when someone steps forward and thinks for themselves and the world, then people chop it up to crazy. Why do people who aren't legends and geniuses stop to think, maybe I just don't understand? Maybe they've surpassed levels that I can't grasp. Maybe, just maybe, they're not crazy, and I'm judging them from my own lack of understanding. Man, it'll kill them to even have those type of thoughts. Because at the end of the day, in so many ways, people envy the legends and geniuses. Yet the legends and geniuses, along with their ultimate legacies and creations, always prevail. Okay? I mean, I just mean that from the bottom of my heart. And I'm going to tell y'all something. Everything that I experience, I've pretty much experienced both ends of the spectrum. That's where a lot of my wisdom comes into a play. That's where a lot of my depth of understanding and understanding comes into play, because I've been made to experience the end of both spectrums of pretty much all spectrums that exist. Obviously, I haven't finished. I'm still doing my round in my time here on Earth, so I haven't experienced everything I could have. But I have a lot inside of me as far as spectrums and my understanding and my wisdom. So I say all that to say I've looked at certain people or certain things as crazy. I've been on that other end of things too, where you don't really understand or understand their purpose or their thought processes or what they're here for and here to contribute. So as human nature, we automatically put that in the category of judgment just because of our own lack of understanding. They have gone beyond or surpassed certain levels as far as mentally or emotionally or spiritually or whatever the case may be. And sometimes we're just not always there at the same level that they're at, and we don't understand. So to us, it does look crazy. Like I said, I've looked at other people outside of me as crazy because I didn't understand them. I didn't understand their purpose or where they were. And then I found myself on the other side of things. Just as far as me being looked at as crazy or not being understood, and negative criticism because other people outside of me did not understand my journey. They didn't understand my purpose, So I say all that to say that, I never want anyone to perceive me as someone who just knows it all and is superior, high up. Nobody can tell me this, nobody can tell me that, because I've come from so many different places to get where I am today. You know what I mean? To be the fullness and wholeness of who I am today, integrating myself, every piece, every light, every dark aspect, everything, to get this full result here. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to put that out there. Shout out to all the perceived and non-perceived legends and geniuses. All right, I love y'all. We won. But yeah, I'm gonna move on to my next poem. Just give me a second. Okay, so this next poem, oh, excuse me, I hate like clearing my throat and stuff like that. That bothers me sometimes because it's like, I know it's human nature, but anyways, so yeah, this next poem is entitled "We All Deserve." It's just as simple. That's just self-explanatory. It's as simple as that. We all deserve. Okay, when I say all, I mean the whole of the all. We all deserve. Okay, so boom. We all deserve a place we can go where we can break down, where the pain can run free, where we can be dramatic as desired, like, oh my God, I'm melting. Because indeed, this world does get hot, and life itself is characteristically dramatic. And pain will run free with or without thee. And breaking down is considered healthy. So we all should simply have a place where we can be to lessen the effects of the world and tap into inner peace. Tap into a world of being free. Tap into patience and acceptance, as well as tap into neutrality. For indeed the world is full of balance. And indeed the world requires strength. Indeed the world is heaven bound. And indeed peace is within heart's length. We all deserve a space within this complex place where for just a couple moments, all is all. Everything is everything. And where freedom is called, freedom goes and freedom rings. It's simply what we deserve. Okay? That's self-explanatory, y'all. Like, that's just how I feel. I feel like we all deserve that. We all deserve to have a space, a safe space. No matter what we may need to feel, no matter what we may need to release, no matter what it is. We all deserve. Okay? That's for all my babies. I just be, you know, I speak to myself a lot when I'm writing my poetry because I'm consoling myself. It's a form of transmutation, taking that lower energy, lower, heavier energy that I feel and transmuting it into higher. But I'm not just doing it for me, y'all. Like, legit, I have felt like this since I was a little girl. Like, I've never been doing this, what I do, for me. You know what I mean? So we all deserve. All right? Cool, cool. Moving on. Moving on to the next poem. We on poem number 4 out of 5. All right, and this poem is entitled Braveheart. Okay, let's get to it. I'm meant to allow all of my inner boundaries to dissolve and evaporate around me in order to allow my heart to soften and my dreams to guide me. It sounds beautiful when spoken poetically, but it's actually very difficult of a task. But because it becomes less about using your physical eyes and more so about tapping and tuning into your spiritual eye. It takes strength to allow God to come in with this big black ass wrecking ball saying, fuck those walls that you use as protection. That's stunting you, hindering you. Does that sound like protection? I'm going to knock them down and knock them out for your sake. Just trust me. And I'm just like, well, damn, God. Did you truly have to make me the epitome of vulnerability? God says to me, well, if I didn't, then how would you embody being the epitome of divinity? You say you want to be like me, right? I nod my head ever so gently. So in order for that to be, then you have to trust me enough to allow me and only me to build you up the way you need. And you cannot do that without the deepest of vulnerability, God reiterates to me. So I started imagining a life where I could be open and free, where I could embrace vulnerability, no matter what others have once taken from me. I started imagining a reality where my heart was so open and free that every single last one of my dreams came directly to my vicinity to meet me, to ultimately prove the power of divinity. I started imagining a safe place where I didn't have to be so hard or cold, and I could be soft and free in order to move through the world the way God intended it to be. Softening my heart, evaporating my boundaries, and allowing my dreams to guide me. Oh, how beautiful they are. My dreams and I are meant to be. It's destiny. So there's no need in me questioning my higher authority, nor the big black wrecking ball coming to tear down all these walls within me. For all is the way it should be. A softer heart leads to a warmer world. A vulnerable Maya leads to a braver world. A dream come true leads to wholeness. Okay. Sorry, y'all. Like I say, I have to reprocess these things. This poem was apparently also written on June the 5th, last year. So that's just crazy for me to realize that I wrote that back then and to see where I am in my life now. Oh, I'm such a brave heart. Literally though, I'm a brave heart. I'm a brave soul, y'all. Okay? Everybody's not equipped to be able to take the type of journey that I've taken. Okay, so that's just me letting y'all in a little bit more, like, hey, M-A-E-T over here, Braveheart. Braveheart. And I commend and encourage and applaud all the rest of my Bravehearts out there, because this is not an easy journey. It's not an easy thing to be so sensitive, to have a heart that's brave. So yeah. All right, so I got just one more that I want to share before I wrap this thing up, because I've been talking for 30 minutes here and I didn't realize it, you know. But I'm here to share, whoever watches to the end, watches to the end, and whatever else, like I'm just, yes, yes. Go back over the drums and see if they can get these last two lugs on for you. Okay. I went out and bought some, and I couldn't get them. They may be able to get it up in the air and put it on. But I bought two lug nuts. I got them sitting on the counter. Okay. I had texted you to see what. Yeah, I'm doing something. I'm sorry. Are you doing something? Yeah. Oh, my bad. But yeah, I got you. Thank you. Sorry. That's life, Somebody was giving me a message here, so. But I'm back. I'm over here like, what poem? I have to find where my poems are. I have so many poems, y'all, in so many different places. Okay, so lastly, but not least, of course, we just getting started out here, baby. But yeah, lastly, this poem is entitled My Time. This one right here, nigga. Nah, but for real, this some real shit right here. Like, I had to come to this conclusion and I had to embody it. I didn't just have to come to the point. I had to embody it. Okay? So, it's called My Time. All right? After investing so much effort and energy into spaces and places that I desired to feel me, it's so genuinely and overwhelmingly clear that it's my time. I take responsibility for making my life and journey about so many other things and people for so long and in such a committed way. I apologize to myself for not truly recognizing just how deeply I would sacrifice myself and my own needs for the happiness or sake of others, from the micro to the macro, under the guise of loyalty, not only to others, but to God. But what about the loyalty and commitment and effort and energy that I owe myself? What about my own health and wealth? The illusion has fallen away at this point. It's never been so crucially and imperatively clear that it's my time now. I've cultivated the wisdom and strength to be able to move forward in my life with the execution of my plans and dreams that have been waiting patiently for me all along. Alignment at its finest. Because I worked hard to get myself here. To heal, release, expand, and grow on the inside of me to the point of not being able to, to a point of being able to be the woman I am today. And the woman I am today has no time for the things she used to have time for. She has no room for the ways she used to be. All she knows and has is a unique and dedicated focus of her own journey. She is me, and it's finally my time. Okay, like, I ain't got nothing else for it. Like, y'all don't know how deep the chains in the cage of codependency actually goes. I'm telling you, that's why I started when I was born into this realm for this go round, because this ain't my first rodeo on the Earth Show. But when I was born, my God, I ain't had no choice. What they would say, certain instances like that, she never had a fighting chance. She's not gonna be able to beat the odds. She's gonna forever remain stuck and trapped in those cages. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Not I, says the goat. Nah, real shit. Real shit. Y'all don't know because I was a star seed that came from the cosmos and submerged down into the darkness of the ground. Nigga, I wasn't just planted on this earth. I was planted down into the depths of the ground of the earth. Nigga, it was dark. It was dark. I could not see shit. I didn't have no form. My spiritual vision is bad enough I wear glasses, y'all. I mean, you know, I could clearly, my physical eyes ain't the best they could be, but my spiritual vision was shot from the jump. I was born into fear. I was born into codependency. I was born into trauma. And it went deep. Okay? I'm not here to discredit anybody else's journey or anything like that. I can only speak from my place and my experience with these type of cages. Mental cages, emotional cages, spiritual cages that I had to bust and break myself out of enough to even say, okay, hold up, wait a minute. What about me? After giving and giving and giving and giving, you know, the unbalanced giver becomes the unbalanced taker. You know, if you don't come to that point where you stop and say, what about me? Because at that point, it's not a thing of selfishness. And if it is a thing of selfishness, then you need to learn how to be a bit more selfish in life to be able to put yourself first. You know what I mean? It's so easy to place so many other people's needs and wants before our own. Sometimes we don't even know our own needs and wants because everybody else came first to begin with. That's just a part of the society that we live in, you know, what they condition us into, shall I say. But it comes to a certain point where it's just time out for all that shit. And it becomes at that point when you realize that and you embody that concept and take it in as a fact, it's your time at that point. So shout out to everybody else who have done the work to get to the places where they desire to execute their own plans, their own dreams, with it, figuring out their own wants and their own needs in order to move forward in life without being held down and bound by the chain of other people and other people's needs and desires. You know what I mean? It's just about that simple. It's not saying that other people don't have a right to have needs and desires outside themselves, because of course I still have needs and desires that I outside of myself. But I'm going to put self first, and I'm going to meet every single need that I can meet for myself before anybody else, or before I even ask anybody else to meet any kind of need or want for me. You know what I mean? That takes a lot of work, especially coming from the place I've come from, y'all. Over time on my YouTube channel, a lot of things may be expressed, a lot of things may be revealed, a lot of vulnerability, it will be shared as far as where I come from. Because a lot of people can say, you don't know where I come from, you don't know where I come from. And it's like, well, we don't, because you don't share it. We don't know your story. So eventually, you know, as time passes and time goes on, you will know my story, and you will know where I've come from, and you'll be just as goddamn proud of me as I am of me. Genuinely. Okay, so thank y'all so much for listening. I did not expect a 38-minute long video, but such is greatness. Okay, I'm in abundance just in general, you know. So if you're gonna ride with me to the goddamn end. You know what I'm saying? It's worth it, in my opinion. You know, so again, thank y'all for listening. Shit, I'll be back sometime again within this month, because this was really my February video. But thank y'all for being here. I love y'all.